FOTS.
We out here.
The FOTS pod.
I think we just do this podcast just so that we can say FOTS multiple times a week.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that FOTS. Everybody asks us now. I mean, now that we're podcasters, what does FOTS mean? I'm like, it's kind of a weird name. I'm like, focus on the stars.
Yeah. And the thing I was going to tell you was crazy. This is only our third episode.
Nah, for real.
But I already feel like talent. Like I didn't even want to open the door to the spot. I was going to text either John or Kaba and be like, yo, listen, I'm talent today.
I'm strolling in.
I can't really open the door. I just want to be talent and fly in. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
But anyway, that being said, enough about us.
Yes.
We have an empty chair over here.
Yeah.
And it's very special for us because we have our first guest. And when we had the idea for this pod, this was months ago, we said, this has to be our first guest. 100%. It didn't matter.
I wonder why.
Well, you'll have to keep watching because we're going to tell the story of why. Nah, this is...
definitely a special guest. Definitely somebody that's rooted in like New York hip hop. So, especially radio, right?
Nah, 100%. 100%. And deeply rooted in kind of this.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll tell that story and, have my man come through whenever he comes through. But while we're waiting for him, what we could do.
What's up?
In red, we got to rate John. It says from 1 to 10.
So hold on. Just so y'all know, John is one of our producers. On the board, it says, this guy is a narcissist. So he says, rate John from 1 to 10. So let's see. Mike, what you rate John?
The stance alone is definitely a 12. Because you got to remember, he's in charge. Him and Kaba edit. So you can never say nothing. Yo.
This is hilarious.
They're always right. If you're in relationships, Kaba, John, have us speak to them because they're right.
Said, no, you're right. Because I was going to say 20, so you good. So we there. You know what I mean? We
out
here.
I'm saying?
So we got that out the way.
We good.
Yeah.
We good.
So, we got it out the way?
Yeah. Right. We gotta have our guy. Let's see what's going on.
Who?
I guess is ready. He's done with hair and makeup.
Yeah. See, we take care of our people here.
Yeah, exactly. Hair, makeup, we do what we gotta do.
Is that him? Oh.
That's him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's our guy, HipHop Mike.
HipHop Mike, what up, man?
What's going on, bro?
Oh, my boy. Yeah.
I would get up, but they would get mad because I would move the mic and pause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now we have, let's see, this is going to be a riddle. Pause. How many mics are in your screenshot right now?
Yo, anyway,
I just do it
so
for John.
this guy,
I do it for John.
He just can't wait.
I do it for John.
He just can't wait. It's hilarious, man.
All right.
But yo, Mike, man.
Yo, what's happening, guys?
What's good, man? Man. This is like monumental for us, huh?
Nah, for sure. It definitely is, bro. Like you got to understand that Mike is like our brother, right?
Not like he is our brother.
Yeah, but it's crazy because it's gonna sound like we're like children and that he's like one of our parents.
Oh my God,
that's crazy. But it's because of Mike that Don and I had met, and I remember it's funny because when I knew you were coming here, bro, I was like, I remember specifically being like, when Don, we didn't tell our story yet, but when Don was reaching out, I remember asking you, I was like, yo, I said, what's up with this dude? Like he's cool.
G-checking.
He's solid.
I was like, yeah, and literally, I remember what you said. You were like, "Yo, he's dope." You said he's just like you. See how you are with Cheeks and his family. He's like that with Jufu, and I think it'll be dope. And
yeah, here we are.
You know what I'm saying?
How many years later? Like 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, almost 3 years later.
Listen, it's proof, man, that caring about the clients, it goes a long way.
No,
you know what I'm saying? I knew how much you care about Chiclet Millenni from early on,
Facts.
and watching how they grew, but you made sure that things stayed on track in the personal life and the professional.
Facts.
It was very important to you. And then when I met Don, he was on the same time with Jufu. Like speaking of Jufu, that man is like, he's wiser than all of us. You know what I'm saying?
He's Buddha.
And I was like, he's clearly got good guidance. So I'm like, how could it be wrong? To link two guys that really care about, the artists and just the craft that everybody, has their own individual thing.
That's a fact.
Y'all let people be themselves.
Facts.
So it's a pleasure, man. I'm happy to see everything blossoming.
Yeah, listen, I mean, this is, this is kind of crazy, man, because it just becomes, we started something and it turned into this like amazing, like,
it's just it's a full circle moment. It's definitely a full circle moment. I was telling you off camera that when Chicle told us, yo, you guys got to do a pod. Right?
Yeah.
And this was months ago. And when we started, after we got out of thinking about everybody else, right? Because that's what we do. It was like, yeah, we should do it when the time is right. And we both said, first guest has to be Mike. Has to be HipHop Mike.
Yeah,
It's good to be here, guys.
And that's a fact. So we also was looking at just your evolution of what you've done with your career and transition into what we were doing as far as management, and it all still coincides, bro. It's like the way you are with people is the way we are with people. It's a sense of the genuine energy. Everything kind of like seamlessly going, because right now you moving around, you moving and shaking.
His energy crazy, man. Right?
Yeah,
energy crazy.
He's kind of glowing at the moment.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, he's smiling.
I promise I'm not pregnant right now.
Yeah. Hey, yo, but
I'm glowing though. It's the money. It's not. There's no babies on the way.
Yeah.
How you been, bro?
I mean, everything's great. I feel like, the genuine stuff is always paid off in the sense of like creating new opportunities.
Facts.
And, just having that genuine love for music, it helped me connect with people like you guys. And having a love for what I'm doing now with the real estate has helped me connect with people in that field that, have been just dropping blessings on me, man.
That's amazing. So what does that, what's the difference between like the radio music and the real estate? How does that, is it different?
Yeah, I mean, so for me personally, it's the difference is like I'm very emotional when it comes to like music and the entertainment industry. Like I grew up in it, I was always very attached to like mixtapes as a kid. I was very attached to like just different artists and their stories. So, I mean, I think emotionally, when you're attached to something like that and you work in it, it's a lot more emotion jerkers than like I don't even know what the word is for it. It definitely pulls you around a little bit more. Where with the real estate, it's just strictly about the money. It's like, I'm not emotionally attached to it. I just love the idea of the business. And when I have conversations with people, it's like we're always kind of on the same page. There's no room for opinion. It's just like, what do the numbers look like?
Nowadays though, it seems as if that it's a little bit more carefree too, like for you, because you have a little bit more freedom and not.
Yeah, well, so I mean, it's flexible as far as like I have a 9 to 5, and a lot of people can I curse on here?
Nah, do you?
Hell yeah.
A lot of people shit on the 9 to 5.
Yeah, we don't shit on the 9 to 5.
I think it's you got to get it how you live, man.
For sure.
For me personally, I've always been somebody who likes structure. I think it worked well with radio, with having like times of like this is when you're playing songs, when commercials played. Like I was able to kind of keep up with that structure and thrive and being on like efficient in it. But again, like being emotionally attached to the music, it creates a lot of conflict because I'll go to bat for something I believe in, even if it's not a popular opinion, even if it's not something that's like politically correct to be talking about or saying.
No, that's 100%. And I want to, because I know we know who you are.
For sure.
I want you to kind of tell the people, like, because we're sitting here talking like everybody.
We're having a conversation.
Yeah. But I want people to understand who you are, what you've done, because like what you said, you've always gone against the grain, especially in the music industry. Like you've really looked and saw talent before anybody. You know what I mean? And we knew that, where it was kind of like, yo, Mike didn't get the flowers that he was supposed to get, because it was like, damn, Mike was the first person that put this dude in front of a camera or on the radio. So I just want you to kind of, however you want to do it, but just kind of say who.
The first time I heard about Coil Ray was because of Mike.
Right.
So
yeah.
I mean,
know
a
that.
lot of artists, like, I think that's. Oh, yeah, my fault. Okay. Yeah, I think, a lot of artists, man, like at the end of the day, I feel like, growing up in music, I knew about even guys like the Dipset crew, all of it, like very early on. And again, it's like, for me, it hasn't been so much about building my own thing, which I don't know if it's a mistake. Like Like there's something about getting flowers that feels great, but it also inflates like things personally that you start looking from a different position.
That's a fact.
And I'm big on staying grounded. So I don't know. Like I give myself the flowers and I'm very blessed to live the life that I live.
Yep.
But I didn't expect it to go, where it went as far as the entertainment stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the barbering stuff, bro. I got so many different things that like I would hit these milestones, whether it's with barbering, pizza. Music.
Yeah.
That I'd be around people that were elite at those fields. And I just think getting the experience is worth so much more than getting like the accolades for doing it within the structure that they want you to do it in.
Yeah. One thing I learned with you too is also you're like a great dot connector, right? So, and I can say that because of the dot you connected with us. So with us, I can vouch for that because my partner is essentially my soul brother. We met because of you. So I've seen it around in other industries that you've been with, especially with the pizza. You put a lot of people together with the music. I've seen you do numerous things with the music, and you've connected them dots. And some of those people are still together till today.
For sure, man.
Yeah, and I just want, like I told you as soon as I saw you, and I said it earlier, bro. You look so happy.
Thanks, bro.
And that was the thing. It's like, you were working, and I'm not gonna mention, what I'm saying. You were on radio, right, and a popular station, right, and it's like a lot of people, like what you said, people shit on a 9 to 5, right, but a lot of people would, if they were there, oh my God,
yeah, for sure,
it's the dream.
Yeah,
right?
For them. I was like that. Like stepping in the building, I was like, I couldn't believe I was at. I say like, shout out Hot 87. Like I couldn't believe I was at Hot 87. Yeah. And that allure is always there. I mean, of course. You put on certain clothes, you go to certain places. There's always gonna be that little bit of like, the public nostalgia of it is like, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
But like once you get close enough, whether you're making clothes, you see where that gets done, or you're behind the scenes of radio and you see like what's actually keeping things ticking. You have to be okay with what the day-to-day lifestyle is. You can't just be in love with like the aesthetic.
So while you was there, did you learn any of the business attributes, the accolades or things that's going on with like the radio station? Like, is there any?
I realized it was a job, like anything. Like, you could work at a bunch of different places and different places have different policies and different management styles. And, I started to kind of look at it as a job. Like the closest thing I could explain to it is like, there's a point for everybody where they look at their parents as like people and not just like their parents. And I think growing up, you look at your parents as like parents in the sense like, oh, they know what's going on out here. They got the morals. I mean, or they don't, I guess. But either way, you kind of don't look at them as like an individual
anymore.
Until a certain point where you're like, oh, my dad's like that. Maybe he's a little screwed up for this. Maybe my mom went through some ish and is and when you start kind of seeing things for how they are and not just how you want to see them, you kind of could be more in tune with yourself of like if it's a space that's right for you or a relationship that's right for you, or if it's something that, maybe isn't healthy for you and you got to step away from, even if it's working.
Right.
I think that's the hard part for people is like Seinfeld finale is like, how do you step away when it's working?
Right.
And I think it's important to be able to do that for like evolution,
right? And when for you spoke about like, hey, I was here and you're like, oh my God, I'm walking into the building. Do you remember how you felt? Like how was it and what did you do? Like first of all, how did you get there? Right? And then once you were there, what do you remember what the moment was where you looked at your parents as individuals?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to bring it full circle, it's, I'm able to connect people just off the energy.
For sure.
Like in all honesty, like I've met so many different people through my experiences of like growing up in the streets and working in mixtape spots, barbershops, group homes, that, you start being able to read energy. And I think in radio, for me personally, it was like, energetically, I was able to see an artist and appreciate what they were doing, even if the music wasn't for me, and try to give them a platform to be themselves without me trying to insert what my energy was into their situation.
I get that.
So with radio, it just kind of happened. It wasn't something that like I was actively pursuing. I wasn't confident at all growing up. Like I was very kind of like loner, low key. I had grown up in like a group home for a couple years. I got out, I became a barber. I was working in a pharmacy. So I was just like, my hustle was there. Yeah. But like, I didn't get into it because I wanted to like broadcast my opinions.
Was it more so of a necessity of finding yourself?
I just love music, man.
Yeah.
Like, in all honesty, like, I was a big fan of music, and growing up, I listened to a lot of the mixtapes, a lot of the Hot 97 mixtapes. And when I got into the situation where I was in this group home, you know, they would give us like library visits once a week. They like walk like 6 of us to the library, like half a mile away. We sit at the computer, we get like an hour of computer time. And I just started reaching out to like Green Lantern, to everybody at Hot, Angie, Rosenberg, Flex, everybody, just in that hour time. Through MySpace, and I connected with Rosenberg.
MySpace.
Through MySpace. I mean, this is going back 2006,
Yikes.
2005.
MySpace.
But yeah,
I was trying to holler at joints on my.
Me too. Yeah, Peter Rosenberg is right.
Yeah, Black Planet, you heard?
Yeah.
But for Rosenberg, you got your start with him, correct?
Well, so that was like the door opening to just him knowing who I was and vice versa. Like, to be honest, at the time, he was brand new and I wasn't as familiar with him either. So, like, again, it wasn't like pursuing this career. Right. It was more so just like, I love music. Hot 97 puts out these mixtapes. I'm going to reach out to people. And like what I said in that message was just like, I love to learn how to like get into the industry. Yeah. It wasn't like, I love to be in radio. Like, if Green Lantern would have hit me back, I could have been putting out mixtapes.
Yeah,
like, you know, like I didn't have an agenda. I didn't DJ. I never did any, like, podcasting wasn't a thing, but I never did like any kind of content. And, you know, I got out of the group home. I started working all these jobs just to kind of get by. I was renting a place in Brooklyn for like $800 a month and just grinding, bro. And I was so miserable with like the hustle of being in a pizzeria for X amount of hours, like getting dirty, dropping pies off to people, you know, leaving there, go to the pharmacy, riding a bicycle, delivering pills to like all over the neighborhood. Like, you know, I'm working at the barbershop. I just got hair. So like everything, I'm just like getting dirty and grinding.
But that's the thing though. The one thing I could say is that we've seen you hustle. So essentially all the stuff that you've done as a kid essentially translated as you grow into a grown man.
Well, that's your work ethic.
Yeah.
That's like what you said. It translates into that. And one thing that you had said, because we had spoke about this on an episode prior, as far as you said, I emailed and I said, and you broke down what it was. Key thing is that he said what he wanted. He didn't say yo.
Or let's work.
You know what I mean? Let's work. You had an agenda, and you were just like, hey, look, I'm just trying to see what's up.
It was honestly like, so I didn't have any agenda, but I had a moment of vulnerability where I was just like expressing myself. Like, I was in this group home at the point, like, they don't give you library privileges like day one. Like it maybe a year and a half in, I got the privilege to go to the library.
That's crazy.
So it's like I have all this bent up emotional garbage that I don't know how to work through. I'm a kid. And, you know, now I'm at this thing and I'm reaching out to people for like the first time in a year and a half. And I'm just like letting it all go. I'm like, man, life sucks. Like, I hate being in this group home. I would love to do something in music. Like, any advice you could give me, I'll take it. You know, and I think just asking for the advice, because I was really lost, man. Like, and I didn't realize how lost I was, but like what put me in the group home was like breaking into houses and robbing people.
This guy was out here doing B&Es.
I was wild. This
guy's out here doing
I bought a piece
Not
of
B&H.
school.
B&E.
Nah.
This guy's doing B&Es. But I mean, so even with that though, with the transition of like getting with Rosenberg, did you have a business mindset, or was just more sort of hustle first?
Nah, it was all hustle, bro. Like, I mean, so I started working these jobs. I knew of Rosenberg through MySpace, but we didn't talk. Like, I reached out to him once. He responded. He was like, "Good luck to you. Like, keep it going." You know? And I'm working this barbershop job, and I'm listening to radio a lot, and I hear Rock the Bells promo to like go to Rock the Bells, like win tickets. And I called up and I won the tickets somehow. I go to Rock the Bells and I sneak backstage. Like, my cousin came with me. He was a DJ.
He sneaks backstage.
I snuck backstage for real. Like, you know, on some militant-ish.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, my cousin was a DJ. He knew this dude who's also a DJ who was plugged with one of the artists, but he also had a cell phone store. It was like this random like relationship my cousin had. So he helped me get backstage, and then I just run into Rosenberg and I recognized him from MySpace. I'm like, yo, I want to work with you. And he curved me. And I was like, I told him, I'm like, bro, I'm working all these jobs. It's miserable. But he's like, you got to go to school,
just
bro.
I understand the curve.
Listen, I respect it. You know,
He says I curved him.
Yeah. I understand it.
You curved him?
Yeah, he did.
How does that happen?
That's what he said.
That's what he said when I hit him up. Because that's when he G-checked me by hitting you up.
Oh,
to
my
see
God.
if I knew. Yeah, but go ahead, my bad.
Oh, okay, got you. Well, listen, you got to vet everybody. I mean, damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I linked with him that day, and it's not like he completely curved me, but he gave me good advice. He was like, go to school. If you get into classes, they'll give you like credits to get an internship, and then reach out to me when you're in school, and I'll see if I can get you set up on an internship.
Well, that's fire that he even did that, bro.
And what did you end up going to school to do it, or
so I finished high school. So I finished high school. I hustled my way into college. I got into Brooklyn College on like with 70s. Like I knew a girl who worked in admissions.
See, this guy's
bro.
This guy's great.
I went to high school at BCA, which is in the college campus. So they knew me from being in the high school in there.
Okay.
So I finessed like an acceptance into Brooklyn College.
Yo, from B&E's to acceptance to
crazy,
college,
right?
Guys,
like my average was so far off, and this girl, shout out to her, man. She just finessed my way in.
Look at that.
But 2 months later, I was out. I was like,
this guy's nuts.
I started it. So my thought was, I'll go to Brooklyn College. I'll take like pre-med. I was gonna do pharmacy, like because the pharmacist that I was working with was making the most money of the barbershop and the restaurant.
And he was dropping pills off, right?
Yeah, I was delivering pills, like. Legal drug dealer, best job in the world.
This guys.
And I feel that, they make like $500 a day, easy. They do what they want to do. They come and go. So I was like, I'm gonna just go to pharmacy school, right? But chemistry classes are really tough.
Yep.
I had no money at all. It was just like I'm paying rent. I'm still working certain jobs, so I just wasn't focused on school.
Yeah.
So a couple of months in, I dropped out. I was like, whatever. I go back to regular life and just grinding. A year goes by, and I hear on the radio "Rock the Bells" again, bro. And I call up, and I win tickets again, bro.
That's crazy.
2 years in a row, right?
That's
and I have
universe,
the tickets to
bro.
prove it. The comp
That's
tickets, I
crazy.
got them
That's
to prove it.
crazy.
I'll send it if you want to put them on the screen. I don't know what editing y'all into. But not because people think I'm capping when I say I won 3 years in a row, bro.
Wow.
So the second year I won, I go. By that time, I'm cutting this dude Lil Fame's hair, like here and there from MOP.
Yep.
He's on the bill. I get to the show. He sees me like on the other side of the barricade. Yo, come through.
Yeah.
So I got that picture too. I'm posted up with Fame backstage. I see Rosenberg. I'm like, yo, you remember me? I'm trying to work. He's like, you in school? I'm like, I was, but not anymore. He's like, you got to go to school. Again, I tried school, bro. I enrolled in that year. I enrolled to 2 colleges. I go to Kingsborough for like a few months, drop out. December, January comes. I enroll in a 5 towns college. Not working, drop out.
Damn.
It's just like it's not working.
You like school ain't for me.
Yeah. Yo. So,
B&E is for me.
B&E.
School's not for me.
B&E and sneaking in the back of the Rock the Bells.
Well, I was sneaking so at that point I had been going to a lot of concerts, so I snuck backstage at a bunch of things. I made friends with like security, like because I'm a kid.
This
like
guy, I
How
love
old?
this
Yeah,
guy.
how old are you around this time?
I'm probably like 18.
I love it.
19, and I'm like on my own 18, 19. Like I'm not running around with like maybe my cousin would pop out, but he was a little nutty. Like, I was kind of just like, I'd go to an event and by myself type ish.
Down for sure.
And yeah, man, the third year, like, so that second year, he tells me to go to school. I try again, it doesn't work. The third year, I won tickets again, bro. I go to the station to pick them up, and I'm in the elevator. And at High 97 at the time, there was only one elevator that went up to the 7th floor. So me and this dude getting like the wrong elevator, and we're just passing the floor. And this guy's got a bag that says Metro PCS on it. So we start talking in the elevator. I'm like, oh, like what you here for? He says he's dropping off tickets for Rock the Bells. I'm like, yo, you got extra tickets in that bag? He gave me like 6 tickets, bro. So I'm like, I pick up 2. I get a bunch more from him. I flip a couple tickets. I made some money. So I kept like, I think 3 tickets. It was me, my girl at the time and her friend, and one other kid that I knew that was already there. So we hanging out. That year it was on like Governor's Island. It starts raining. This girl's like friends left her. She's getting tight at me. She's like barking at me. We may be like a year into a relationship, so she's just like,
so you just
going, you know what I'm saying? Like at a year, if they gonna be like that.
Yeah, it's a
they gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, she was like that. We in the rain. She's going off, and I see Rosenberg like right behind her, and I'm just like, man, forget you. I'm going to talk to this dude. I go talk to him. He saw she was barking at me. He's like, you good? I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, I done dropped out of 3 schools. I'm grinding all these jobs. Like,
I want to work.
Life is bad, man. Like, life is really bad.
Yeah.
And he just gives me his email. He's like, hit me up. Like, maybe there's something. If something comes up, like, we could touch base. So, like, I hit him up the next day. I don't hear anything back. A few days goes by. I'm at Restaurant Depot right here in Maspeth. I got like a crappy drop top Beamer. Like I'm loading it with like cheese and sauce. What was it? I say it's a drop top because like literally I couldn't fit like all the cheese and sauce boxes in the car unless the roof's down. So I'm standing next to it with the top down, loading cheese into the back of the car. Right, like cases of this ish to go. I was working at a pizzeria called Italian Affair on Northern Boulevard, is in like that Liquidator shopping center. My phone dings. I get an email from Rosenberg. He's like, "Yo, I have an event tomorrow or tonight." I forgot what it was. It was either that night or the following night. He was hosting an after party at Santos for like the Jay-Z Eminem Yankee Stadium show.
Oh yeah, I remember that show. I was there.
Right. So this is like 2008, 9, and
show was fire.
And I'm like, all right, like my car, I told you, was like beat up. He wants me to pick him up. I'm like, damn, I don't really have a whip. So I go back to Brooklyn. Like, I guess it was probably the next night. I go back after work, and I'm just like, damn, what am I'm going to pick him up in this shitty car. And I'm at my boy's house, and it's like maybe 2 hours before I'm supposed to go get him, like 3 hours. And I'm telling my boy this, whatever. I'm like ready to go in the hoopty. And he asked me, he's like, yo, can you just drop this envelope off at my sister's crib, like on your way to the city?
So who said this, your man or?
My homie, yeah. Okay. Shout out to Joe, my boy Joe. I'm at his crib just chilling, like it's the day that I got to go pick Rosenberg up for this event. But it's like earlier in the day. It's like 4 o'clock. I got to pick him up
Where
at
he
6.
lived at that time?
The Upper West Side.
Okay.
He was on like 86th Street at the time on Broadway. And I'm in Brooklyn. I'm in Sheepshead, like on Bedford and like Avenue Z.
Yeah.
But my boy, he got an apartment, whatever. We chilling, like we just hanging out, you know. And I'm like, I gotta leave in a bit. I gotta go pick this dude up. So he doesn't like, he has no idea what's going on. But he asked me, she's just like, it's on the way. Can you drop this off at my sister? It's an envelope. So I go there and she's parked in front of the crib with like her friend. Her friend just got a brand new Maxima. So I was like, yo, what y'all doing tonight? Y'all trying to come to the city? You know what I'm saying?
This guy from B&E's to finessing.
Yeah, to finesse, bro.
That's great.
And they gave me the lift. They was like, yo, we'll drive. I get in the back seat. We drive uptown. Rosenberg gets in the back seat. He's like, you got girls driving you around? I'm like, yo, be like that sometimes. I got a car, but I was going to pick you up. My car has got like cheese on the back seat. Like, this thing's fucked up. And yeah, man, he just got in. We talked that ride. You know, we go to the event. It went well. I got him home. Everything was smooth. Hits me up the next day. Yo, another event, like SOBs. So then I'm just driving him. So I'm still working these jobs, but like I end up just every night after work, I'm like heading out to the city to drive.
You drove him in the drop top this time?
No, so eventually I got my car like cleaned up and I started picking him up, and like any car that I had, you know, like I probably had 3-4 cars throughout just the couple of years where I was just driving.
But you was essentially you were paying your dues.
No,
I thought so.
I mean,
but for life,
I don't know.
Nah, you definitely
were. A lot of tuition. I don't know.
You definitely were for life, bro. That's the thing is that, and I want you to continue. But super sidebar is like, you know, people nowadays don't do that, right? Because they'll after the first time.
I see why though. I definitely see why.
But it becomes the mindset, right? And it's like people just be giving up, right? And your story, like I love hearing this. You know what I mean? As far as for this, because, you know, we deal with a lot of talent, right? And, you know, there's tons of talent out here, but there's not what you are speaking about, bro. Bro, that's perseverance. That's consistency. Bro, it's just amazing.
I appreciate it,
But at the time, he probably thought it was just because at the time you didn't see foresee.
Of course not. He ain't gonna see it.
You just saw that this is an opportunity.
Yeah, you hustling.
I didn't even know what it was, man. I just knew I was having fun. Like
no,
honestly.
but that's even crazy because it's an opportunity. You saw a way in.
I definitely saw.
You saw a way in. Mm-hmm. So being that you saw that there was light at the end of the tunnel, some way, shape, or form.
I was hoping. Like I really like that's the one thing I really struggle with, and like I'd say if I'm envious of anybody, I really am envious of people who like know what they want to do.
I got you.
Because I still have no idea, bro. I'm just like a trial and error kind of guy where it's like I'll do something for a while and then like get bored with it, switch to something else. Which is like, it has its benefits as far as like living life.
And disconnecting.
But yeah, and disconnecting and being able to like just, like I enjoy, like I'm an in the moment motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like I'm very aware of where I'm at when I'm there. You know, I'm not somebody who's like in the past, in the future, which like sometimes it's good to look a little ahead. Yeah. But you know, I don't know. It's just that naturally that's how I've been.
I guess that's why I was asking about the business of music. I mean, of radio, my bad. To see if you ever started getting like understanding where the dollars came from? How does it work? Was that even a thing for you? Like when you was there?
He got cheese in the back right
No,
now.
I mean,
he got cheese
at
in the
a point,
back seat.
at a point
I know
for
he got
sure.
cheese.
Yeah.
I know he had cheese in the back in the drop top. But being that we had spoke about when he was at Hot, was that something that you thought about ever, like from a business standpoint? Like
At a point for sure. Like I wanted to kind of understand the business. It was years from then. Like I got to a point maybe my last 2 years where I started looking at Hot as like a publicly traded company. That was like Emmis, and not just looking at it as like this nostalgic. Like I stopped looking at Mom and Dad and started looking at it as like the people.
But we skipping. I need to know to the point where you get in Hot. We skipping, we jumping.
I mean,
I didn't want the producer to look at us weird because we're dragging on a certain thing.
I want to know. I want to know how you get into Hot. We got the cheese. You going through all this, and then how does that? When does it go to?
My fault.
I was trying to do the spin.
No.
I'll jump ahead quick. But long story short, I stopped working these jobs. I'm driving Rosenberg around. I get a job working at Sleepy's. So like my life becomes after like a year or so of driving him, like
selling king size beds,
everything, all sizes, twins, twin XL, king, Cali King,
amazing.
Queens fulls, everything. Like
it's fire.
You know, mattress protectors, pillows, you name it, selling it all.
There's a crazy markup on those things.
Yeah, nah, bro. That's crazy. I don't want to drag the producer's time, but we can get in the mattress business. It's crazy how much you learn in the mattress business.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
And long story short, bro, I get into Sleepy's. I'm like working there during the day, driving Rosenberg at night, going back to Sleepy's, sleeping on one of the beds, waking up, throwing a suit on, selling beds, just on repeat for like 3 years, bro.
Yo, that's grinding. Hustle though.
Hustling.
And you only had to, and you had yourself you were just taking care of yourself. So you was like, yo, let me put everything into what this is.
I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm like, I left these 3 jobs that were paying me X amount. I go to Sleepy's. Now I'm a commission guy making like almost $100 a year. I was like, I'm just chasing the bag. I'm in the city now.
Hold on. You were slinging mattresses making $100 a year?
Yeah, bro.
Yo, bro, the markup in mattresses
used to be
crazy.
Now they don't make. Now they make like 40, 50. But at the time, Sleepy's was saying
100 G's on slinging mattresses.
Okay,
I'm ready to go sling some mattresses.
Don't do that.
Oh no! All right.
So I say this: it's for anybody who wants to sling mattresses. That was like my first experience of like you're really trading your life for the money.
Okay.
So it's like I'm making a lot of money, but I don't have any time to spend it, and it's like my money's just kind of like going towards dry cleaning and gas and like sustaining the lifestyle after Sleepy's of running around with Rosenberg. Which is expensive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And
you're paying for dinners?
I'm paying for everything, bro.
You're paying for dinners, lunch,
gas, for food, for everything.
For the both of you?
For the car payment. Not for both of us. He would pay sometimes for my food.
Yeah.
But like I pay for my own gas, bro. I pay my own tolls. Like I spent a lot of money.
Gas wasn't crazy. It was like $5, $10.
Yeah, $5 to get you something.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just say a lot of that 100 went towards back into the hustle.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. Yep.
And don't get me wrong, like, all accountability, like I was eating great too. I was in the city on the Upper East Side, so I was like getting good lunch. Like I was smoking. So I definitely was like chilling, but I don't know, man. That it was like it was more work, like 11 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Holidays, you work like 13-hour days. And it's just like not a good lifestyle. I'm the youngest one at Sleepy's. I got district managers that are pissed that I'm making more money than them.
Yeah.
Doing like petty stuff. Like, it's just bad.
You had to gift the gab because you was slinging mattresses.
Well, yeah. So it was very similar. So I say I learned a lot through that experience is like, it's very similar to radio. It's like, Sleepy's used to tell us, like, you have to greet people when they walk in the door. Like, welcome to Sleepy's, the mattress professionals. And, like, some people, they just want, like, a hello, you know?
He still has a tone, too.
That's how he do it.
Because he knew it. But you as an authentic individual, that becomes cheesy, bro.
I mean, y'all been in the stores where they try to sell you stuff. It's not a good feeling. But they would send like secret shoppers in to try and catch you not doing the greeting. Like they play games with you, So just for my mental, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And then like also I was pretty young. Like I didn't have like a lot of mentorship from anybody. Right. So like I wish I could go back to that time and spend that 11 hours like researching and learning stuff. Like I watched everything you could think of on Netflix. Like I watch every Law and Order, every That 7. Like I'm just there wasting time.
Okay,
you know,
you wanted it to be right now. Hindsight,
yeah. If I could go back, I would have studied like the industry a little more. I probably would have read up on like mental health more and like. You know, just did more productive stuff with that downtime instead of just sitting at Sleepy's on an iPhone just staring at Netflix.
Right.
You know, because I would just binge shows. One person would come in, you try to sell them, they leave, go back to binging shows. You know, on Instagram. Like I wasn't even building Instagram, just like wasting time on my phone.
Right.
Yo, around what year was this? Because Netflix came out what year?
Oh man, this is probably 2013, 14.
So you was ahead of time. You was already on your phone
Maybe.
watching.
I don't know when they came out, but Law and Order was on there. That 70 show was on there.
Yeah, because
like I watched every show you could think of that was on there.
Imagine the lag. There was no lag.
No,
It probably was
100%.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Yeah, nah.
So you asked Sleepy's, and
was
then
buffering.
when does the transition happen?
Well, so I get an opportunity at maybe 3 years of being at Sleepy's to go do street team.
Okay.
So like
Street team for hot.
yeah, for hot. So a street team job pops up at Hot 97. It's like $15 an hour, but at that point, like I had been in the building just as an assistant.
around,
That any opportunity that came up, like I'm just jumping on it to be in that building.
Right.
You know? And it came up. I left Sleepy's. I went to this job to make $15 an hour, couple days a week. And then I went back to grinding on the haircuts, all that.
Yeah.
So like I just kind of separate myself from the Sleepy stuff to give myself freedom to just fully go ham with whatever music is gonna become.
And you had a skill set in certain other things, so you was able to apply that other places.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fire.
I
That's
wouldn't have
dope.
been good at Hot if I didn't do haircuts.
Yeah.
Honestly, like if I wasn't cutting like Rosenberg's hair once a week, like
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be in the building as much. You know, at the time I was cutting like Enough's hair here and there. Like I was cutting Mac Miller. Like they had certain artists that would come through. They'd be like, "Yo." So like I was like the barber guy at the station that was like also trying to like work in radio.
So now that you're in there, when does that street team cutting hair, you in the building, when does the opportunity get?
Well, so street team was the opportunity, but it was more like you'll get this van, go out to this Metro PCS store and just like promote the station. So it was like these pop-up events all over the city where like me and like another street team member would take the van, go out and give away tickets or
I
whatever.
remember those vans.
So I did that for a little bit, but Sunday nights, Rosenberg has a show called Real Late with Peter Rosenberg.
Yep.
So Sunday nights, he gave me the job of just like taking the curses out of songs, and then he wanted me to be at the station now that I had a key card with Shawnee Culture, who was running the boards for the show. So he would mix the show at his crib, send it in. Shawnee would upload it to the computer, run the show on air. I start hanging out with Shawnee to learn how that works, and then you know over time, it's like it's midnight. You know, Shawnee has a shift in the morning for the morning show, so like it slowly becomes like he would come in after the show, and I was just running the boards.
Yeah.
And Carly Hustle caught wind of that and was like, "Do you want to be a board op?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to. Like, I'll get off the street team, just be in the studio, be sick." So she gave me the opportunity to board op, and I just took on every shift they would give me. I'm like, I'll work whatever hours, whenever holidays. Like, I'll work
Hustle,
whenever.
man.
Grinding.
The biggest thing I've thus far, you know, from our conversations right now has just been that you understand the pivot.
Yeah.
You understand whatever your pivot is. You understanding that's a big thing for you. It's like, all right, I don't know what I want, but these opportunities are coming, and I'm going to take them and consistently pivot and put yourself in uncomfortable positions that make yourself comfortable. Because you weren't a board op, but you was learning.
But he's a hustler, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like honestly, bro, like your story is the epitome of kind of like what this pod is about,
Fact.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Nah, I
because
appreciate it.
the hustle is hip hop,
Yeah.
right?
For
Hip-hop
sure.
Mike.
Nah,
and
for sure.
And it translates into everything like kind of what like Don is saying as far as the pivot,
yeah.
right? That's the business term. For you, you're like, yo, I'm just hustling and I'm just looking at whatever opportunity. I'm gonna do that. Okay,
Yeah.
bet. Yeah, I'm not gonna do street team. I'm gonna do that. And that's something also that we speak about. You know, you got to get in the building first. That's why I was asking you so much about. You know, when did you get into that building? And you got into the building as street team, cutting hair, and then he ends up on the radio, and that's what like that's huge for people to even understand that,
Yeah.
right? Because you're just going, you're doing
That's
like
a fact.
you're a creative at heart, right? And creatives are like that, right? Where it's like I'm just gonna go, and it's that Martin Luther King, right? Like take the first step, the rest will follow.
Yeah.
And that's something as far as for me, I've had to adopt that in the past few years because I was very.
Yeah,
You know,
it's tough.
it has to be this, and the way you're moving and how you are moving, Yeah, bro, that is dope.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
And the biggest part about, like you said, for this, like what we want to talk about on our pod is aspect of individuals like yourself figuring out how to become, right? So it's like becoming. What are you becoming? It's either, I started at radio and now I transitioned into, this soon to be a commercial real estate mogul. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you understand that aspect of that. That's another pivot. You had to learn how to get into, now this is a whole different, this is solely transactional.
Straight transaction.
There's no feelings. There's no, I love you, property.
Nah.
It's,
maybe with residential, but what I do is not emotion. It's emotionless for sure.
Yeah. So essentially getting into that, it's actually looking at your career life currently, how to pivot.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. Huh?
I'm definitely learning. Like, I think the two things to take away for anybody watching this is, like, one, if you know there's something that's calling you, like, just start putting yourself around people that's doing that thing, whether it's like pharmacy or barbering or radio or whatever. Mm-hmm. I know it sounds easier said than done, but like you guys are welcome to everybody. You guys show mad love to everybody.
Yep.
I'm sure if somebody DMs you guys asking for advice, you would take the time to give them the advice. I would take the time
if they ask for the advice. If they don't, if they say, "Yo, we're not doing it."
Well, the thing is, like,
let's work.
Let's work.
I would tell so many people, "Yo, you want to do radio? Put yourself around 10 radio people." How am I gonna get 10 radio? Maybe not at Hot 87, but you could reach out to 10 radio people throughout the country that'll give you a little bit more info than you had before.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then the second thing is like for me personally, I didn't chase money or fame or anything. I just wanted good energy. Like, I came from so much depression and stress, and like I didn't want to feel like shit anymore. Mm-hmm. So like anything that I took on, it was more like the practical smart thing to do is like stay at Sleepy's, make $100,000 a year, save your money and get stability, then go follow your dreams. But I knew it wasn't bringing me joy being at Sleepy's. I thought Street Team would make me happier, even though it wasn't making me money. Mm-hmm. I said, fuck it, I'm gonna just follow the passions. So I think that's a big thing too, is like, so many people stay in relationships because they're comfortable, but like there's no growth unless you get uncomfortable.
And there's also, like you just, that's interesting you said, is the passion, right? So people are just chasing checks currently without chasing the passion, right? So most people nowadays what we see, the people that we encounter, because I don't want to generalize everybody, but some of the people that we encounter, they're only chasing the money. And I'm not saying that you don't need money, because a mentor of mine said, if somebody doesn't talk about money, run away from them fast. Yeah. Like if they try to blindside you and say that, you don't need money. We're not saying that's not what you don't need, but the passion essentially brings the money to you. And I think nowadays we're lacking a lot of passion. Some people are lacking passion because, one, they probably don't know what they want to do. Two, they don't know sometimes to just shut their mouth and just kind of see. Everybody thinks because they can Google something that they're an expert at it, and they don't know about being in it. It's what it actually helps. It helps build the character.
For sure.
And with us, with Mike and I, we're doing our best to try to lead by example and show people like, yo, you have to be in it for you to be in it. Mm-hmm. Most people don't want to see that. And the thing is, when it doesn't move, in a week, it's a problem. Or if it doesn't move in a month, it's a problem. Like, you don't know how long. I've been at this for a long time. Yeah. So the fact that having this opportunity now, like having a quote unquote voice, this is now, this is a constitute of what the job was prior to this. Yeah. So now that we're here, is now showing people that the passion is what, leads up to, gaining any type of capital, et cetera.
Yeah, people chasing the check because of what society is like.
Nah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because when Mike was going through all of that, we're similar as far as on the hustle aspect of it. We weren't bombarded every day with money over everything. It's about this bread. I'm putting a stack of money. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that messes.
Money phone, but
that's the thing that messes. That's the thing that messes with everybody,
for sure,
as far as with society. So that's why chasing the check, and it's real easy for someone to say chase the passion, because we say that all the time. Mm-hmm. It's because we have knowledge of that, for sure. Right? My stepfather always told me, as far as with kids, you have to have something that you can compare. There's comparisons in life,
always,
right? So we compare to before. And this is why it's a beautiful thing hearing your story, and I think it's important for us, aside from the sentimental value of you being the first guest and what you're in your story, but for people to hear exactly this, bro. Because the thing is that your story is amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and what
appreciate
you've
it,
done,
man.
and
what
like
you-
what you said, like you're sitting there, and see, Don and I are sitting here, and we're, I don't want to say, it's not analyzing. It's just like we see what you're doing, and you're like, yo, I was just going, and we're like,
Yep.
nah, you was hustling, you was putting yourself in positions or whatever, and not even knowing that. As far as people, your story, very inspiring. As far as for, like I said, not just a sentimental aspect of it. I think people need to hear more of this.
Yeah.
From you, and I'll tell you from a friend to a friend, like I think you should really be out there speaking about bro. You got to understand, like we're living in a time of, like what you said, you wish you would have done more research on mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had phone conversations for a while, and we're big on that.
Yeah,
you know what I
for
mean? And just life, and it's not just about it's not just about influencer and social media. Social media is, when we speak about that, it's not just about
Right.
the talent.
Talent, yep.
It's what it does to society as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
We make a living with it, but then it's like what I say about the book, The 48 Laws of Power. That book, unless you're mentally ready for that, you can really turn into a fucking asshole.
That's a fact.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what
for
I'm
sure,
saying?
yep.
Because I remember reading that, and
Yep.
I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm doing
Yep.
that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you have people that are just like, and again, with the word follower, everybody, they said
yeah,
do this
yeah.
and do that. So, going back to what you were saying, as far as, everybody's chasing the check, that's just what it is. It's because nobody is telling somebody, nobody's like, oh, hold on a second. It's not just about that. And that's where I think Don and I come in, as far as with talent or with people in general, whether they're talent or not, right? When you meet and the energies are there, it's, you want to help somebody because it's like, damn, we have comparisons.
Yeah.
Life wasn't always like this.
For sure.
And we understand how people are, And so, I'm going to keep going back to that, bro. Like, yo, you're super strong-willed, bro. Like,
Yep.
what you've done, and then now, like what Don was saying, transitioning into real estate, which is fire.
Fire.
You know what I mean?
Thanks,
and
man.
now you'll take all of this stuff that you've taken your life. This is your book, bro. It's just another chapter. Some chapters are shorter than others, but you have a compelling book. You know what I mean? It's a compelling story, and I just think that, like I said, if we have 28 views,
But that's the thing. Sometimes, like before, I used to just call him and tell him like, "Yo, congratulations," or send a message. It was never always like, "Yo, Mike, what can you do?" Sometimes it's just like, "Yo, bro, I saw what you did. Congratulations." And sometimes people, I think we forget those small things, or just even just the congratulations of somebody that you see got something going on. And the thing is, I think nowadays they think it's D-riding, right? You're like, oh, you only doing that? Nah, this is my friend, this is my bro. I want to show him that I support him, and even if just saying like, "Yo, bro, I see what you're doing, man. Congratulations." That stuff goes a long way. So
yeah, that bell is crazy. I like the bell in the wheel.
Yeah. So he said,
we celebrate each other at the office for sure. Like when people make deals and things go through, we definitely celebrate each other. I think the world would be a better place if it was like that, man.
and, so even
The industry
transition,
would
but
be a
look,
better place.
even transitioning to what we do. So we're taught to like not celebrate. Not taught. So it's like an unspoken rule. You don't celebrate for too long, right? Because you got to get to the next thing. But with us, we don't see it that way. It's funny. Cheeklet was like, "Yo, this is a big deal. We did something for like a magazine, and he said something to us, and we're like, oh, okay, that's cool." And he's like, "No, bro, it's not." He said, He's like, "No, what do you mean it's cool? It's not cool. It's actually great. Yeah. Most people don't get this."
Yeah.
And I think with us is because we're so caught up on just, all right, what's next? We don't bask in the basking in like, oh my gosh, we did this, and because we feel as if like it may get big headed, and then it becomes that you almost turn into an a-hole, which we know we're not, but we don't want to sit in the celebration. Cheekler had to say to us, like, "Yo, bros, no, this is a big deal. This is not something small. This is something that we should celebrate. And how about this? We should celebrate everything we do because it's not easy. The things that we're doing are like really breaking down barriers, and the people in the outside world don't see that. So, that's the biggest thing for what we're doing currently with our companies. Mike and I are making sure that we become those change agents. See, the people that you were saying, like the radio aspect, is not too many of that. The difference between that and this is that Mike and I are at the forefront that we can become those change agents because there's no gatekeepers when it comes to content creation.
Sure.
They be trying to say they are, but is what the people like. So if the people like it, you can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? So the difference is so with us is that we're showcasing that we can celebrate each other. We can, let each other know like, yo, that opportunity that we took is a good opportunity, and let's continue to get more. The thing is that we know Mike and I, we try not to bask in it too long, because then it becomes like, all right, it's almost like something that it's supposed to happen now. It's funny, Chicla said, no, this is not supposed to. We created it. That's why it's here. So it's definitely the aspect of y'all celebrating yourselves where you're at with the real estate. It then translate with what we're doing, celebrating ourselves when we did these
celebrations. It's a celebration, bitches. I'll be the one that curses because everybody's saying ish and a-hole. I'll say asshole and shit.
I'm not, but at the end of the day, it's just more so of just understanding that the celebration is it actually helps propel the things that we're doing.
For sure.
Because then it like even today, we came in with that, that big poster that we did for Paper Planes. Yeah. That stuff is now like visually something that we can see as like, oh, look, we did this. Yeah. That's big.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I want to, being that you're speaking about celebrations, I want to speak with HipHop Mike about something that we've had a conversation about Hip Hop 50.
Oh yeah.
Right? So
we're celebrating Hip Hop 50 here too, man.
No.
I mean, the 50 year of hip hop, we love it.
Oh my god.
I'm almost 50, and you're Hip Hop Mike. That's the closest. To
that's funny.
No, but the thing is that having a conversation, and it's like hip hop. I get it, right? For me, when I was watching everything, and I was like, yo, there's a lot of Hip Hop 50 celebrations, right? And it's because, from my opinion, and I want to hear your opinion, it's like, there's companies, yo, bro, I saw AARP doing something for Hip Hop 50.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, yo, these people would not want anything to do with hip hop at all. But because they benefit from it, now they're going to be like, hey, we're going to do Hip Hop 50, Hip Hop 50, Hip Hop 50. They're doing this. And from a business side, I get it. I understand it. From the purist and here damn near at the beginning of hip hop and what I see and what I've watched and saw when nobody gave a shit about hip hop. Now it's 50. Now you want to. It's what I'm saying?
Ain't some of the founding fathers on AARP?
I mean,
yeah, but still,
I'm just saying.
You could spin everything from a business standpoint. You could spin every single company to do a Hip Hop 50 celebration.
I got you.
But I'm just saying. So, what is your take on that?
I mean, I part love it, part hate it. Okay. Honestly, I always celebrate hip hop early on, and I'll be honest. I ran into Kool Herc like maybe 8 years ago now, something like that. Shout out to PD's Jokes. Me and him was in like the LES. We ran into Herc in like some little random deli type shit. And he was not looking great, man. He was not celebrated.
Right.
I talked to him. I was at the time I was still Hot. I told him I work at Hot. Herc told me fuck the culture straight up.
Really?
And I felt that because I was like, the culture has not been good to me the way I've been good to it, and I feel the same with him. Fast forward, I saw him being celebrated, the Yankee Stadium thing, and I think that's beautiful. I think, there's a certain, you got to give people their flowers, but people also got to do hard work to earn their flowers. And I love the Hip Hop 50 thing because I think a lot of the people that are running the Hip Hop 50 stuff, these guys deserve praises for what they've done to hip hop. And I think, there being something to celebrate them is great. But I don't like when sometimes they use it as an excuse for more. Like, I think these people also want to be celebrated every other day.
So we went to the mayor, what's it, Gracie Mansion?
Yeah, the Hip Hop 50 breakfast.
For the Hip Hop 50 breakfast. We were there. It was amazing. It was dope. It was for us. It was like nostalgic because we saw a lot of people that we looked up to,
like fans.
Fans. I'm like, yo, that's special ed. Like I was in there, like, oh, I got it made. Like I was in there, like it was crazy. So, but then Kool Herc got on stage, and people are arguing the date of like the birth of hip hop, and some people are and some people aren't. But and some people are also saying that. It was already here before the Bronx. Like there's a bunch of controversy that back in I think in the 50s or 60s they were already rapping, right? But I guess for the doo-wop, back in the days and how they used to sing. So even with that, but the aspect of the culture came together in New York City and the Bronx with the individuals that it came through. I just think that now, like Mike said, companies are seeing that it's something that can be stretched out, and they're putting their paws on it to see how they can bleed more from the culture. That's why I respect like Rock the Bells with LL Cool J, because what he does is he
gives Mike tickets every single
I
year.
get tickets
It's
every
he wins all the time.
but this is what I'm saying though. But he takes that, and even if it's not Hip Hop 50, it's still a concert that travels.
100%.
It tours, so you're always gonna get something nostalgic from there, and you're gonna also get something very like hip hop and also a comforting feeling. So I just think that the Hip Hop 50 is, right now it's like this is fourth quarter. It's about to be the end of the year, leading into the holidays. Into what we're gonna have
Hip Hop 50 lunchboxes.
See, so my thing, I'd say this is my concern with it is who's gonna be here to celebrate hip hop 100th.
100th. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think we spend so much time celebrating the 50s. Everybody in their 50s, we celebrate all these guys all the time. But it's like we're not celebrating the stuff that's happening right now. We're trying to bleed from it. And now when there's an opportunity to celebrate these guys that I think is warranted, is like it's 50 years. We should celebrate the people that led the way.
Right.
Are these people using this as an opportunity to also celebrate what's going to come? Or are they using it as an opportunity to just exploit that moment again? Because
but do you think they even care about what's going on now? They just caring about themselves?
Are you talking about the brands? Or
I'm just talking about like I guess the artists.
I don't know. I don't know. What I know is that I see the Hip Hop 50 events and how much passion goes into it from the people that are really celebrating things that they love and believe in. And I've seen the other events where it's like these same people are not around the newer community that they don't celebrate. They don't really care so much about, where it is just transactional.
Yeah, I mean that's why I said I like the way LL was doing it for me.
Well, he does it. He's consistent with it, and I think it depends.
He's also my bad. He's also like one of my idols.
I think it depends on the person too, right? Like, because the hip hop aspect of it, I think it's all timing. It's the same thing as far as with sports, right? You had guys like Mickey Mantle that weren't making money like that. And now you got dudes making millions and millions of dollars because it's turned into a business, right? And this is what the hip hop artists are doing. And I was watching Big Daddy Kane on Drink Champs, and we talking about the kind of the date and everything like that. And he was like, he put it. I was like, yo, you know what? That's exactly for me. I understood it. He was like, yeah, before Herc, yes, there were people rapping.
Yep.
Right. What you said.
Yeah.
He was like, but what Herc did is he was the first person to bring all of the elements together, which started hip hop, the culture.
Yep.
Which I was like, you know what? That makes sense.
Yep.
And to me, that made sense, right? Because I don't know if you know, we say that he's cool Herc and I'm crazy. Did you make it
Jamaican Puerto Rican?
No, but it's exactly what you said there. Is like Herc, if the intention was to bring the culture together, why are we not trying to bring the culture together for the Hip Hop 50? Because that's what I commend LL for, is like when they put together these Rock the Bells events, he's not headlining every single year. It's different people, different age groups. It really celebrates everything hip hop has to offer, from the boots with the graffiti to the dancers to everything. The food.
Yeah.
You know, the Hip Hop 50 events seem like they're about certain people. And that's the thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way, is like hip hop, at least in my opinion, should be for all of us.
Yeah.
Like I said, I supported artists that I wasn't even a fan of their music, but I knew that they had energy to them, that they were going to go the distance with whatever they were doing because they could engage with people that were fans, you know? And if my job was to give them a platform, everybody should have a right to that platform. We're a very diverse city.
Yep.
You know, so I feel the same with the Hip Hop 50, is like, there should be a time to celebrate these guys that are hitting this milestone, but at the same time, we should be celebrating these guys because they've championed the culture and the community. And what disappoints me is that, you know, the culture and the community doesn't get championed as much as the AARPs and these sponsors get championed.
The AARPs.
And
100%.
And that, you know, follow the money.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, man. I think it's to each his own. I don't like to be hard on anybody.
I mean, you can't make too much judgment from it because currently it's just an aspect of a celebration, right? So you're talking about celebrating for the year. I mean, yeah, we celebrate hip hop all the time, but people are taking, and not just even the cultures. It's like, yo, let's celebrate something that we created for the year. I'm not mad at that, but you know, sometimes it's
with Hip Hop 50. I definitely think it depends on the person, right? Because I always feel like there's hate.
Or the people.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like the artists. I just feel like, with all due respect, I think some of y'all are haters.
Nah.
Seriously, and this is coming from hip hop. Like I love hip hop. I'm like you, like us. We're born from hip hop, right? But you can't hate on the timing of everything, right? It's just you said, pioneer. You did it early, which is great. Okay, this was not like it was started from nothing.
Yeah,
there was no union here where it was like, okay, you get a pension.
Yeah,
I think you should do stuff like that. But the thing is that you can't get mad at music talent that you don't like, but you created that. I don't think everybody gets PC off of that, right? You created and you were a foundation, but at the same time, it's just your timing wasn't here. So I wish I could talk to pioneers and sit there and say, hey, let's figure this out. There is something that there's a business here. How do we cultivate that without hating because you're not making money like Uzi?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, I say
it's
this.
a different time too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of insecurity and a lot of fear in the music industry. It's like, and I get it. It's so hard to get into it that once you're in it and you have a situation, you want to hold on to that situation for dear life. But like, again, there's no growth without discomfort for the culture, for the individual. The hip hop 50th thing is like everybody should have a birthday that they celebrate. But,
for sure.
We see DJs, they'll have a whole month of birthdays for the, idea of I can make the most money this month. It's my birthday. So you got to be real with yourself if you're exploiting something or if you're contributing to something. And from my personal situation, I learned this with Hot. Like even before things hit the fan there, I was looking to leave. I took an interview with Nick Cannon. I went out to LA. I was going to do his production. Like I wasn't really trying to be on radio because I felt like in my 30s, the same way that I was looking at these guys, like they're out of touch with the stuff I'm listening to in my 20s. I knew I was heading to be out of touch. And I knew that I wasn't going to be happy at a certain point doing that. And now I have the opportunity where it's like, do I hold on to this thing and just try to justify it like I'm happy? Or do I really let it go, find freedom, and find something else that's going to make me happy? And again, I think it's, a level of vulnerability that I'm fortunate enough to be comfortable with from my experiences. People that get into stations because they did an internship or whatever, they never get to experience a vulnerability like that. So when they get something that they could just hold on to, sometimes they squeeze it so tight they choke it to death.
Nah, for sure.
And I think whether you do it with the 50th anniversary or your birthday or your position of culture, it's just like it's counterproductive to the grand scheme of things.
It's crazy because what you're talking about. I saw Ray Daniels had Joe Budden on.
Yeah,
and Joe Budden was speaking exactly about this. That the reason why he made that transition, like from the radio
because he understood
to the podcast, he was like, "Yo, these dudes are there. They're not trying to give up that seat." So I had to create my own seat. And I thought that was so fire.
But I'll say this, that's cap too, because Joe Budden definitely hit up Rosenberg, who helped him spark his podcast.
He always gives away.
Let's call it what it is.
Hold on, but he always gives him his props.
I hope so. I don't listen.
No, I've seen him. I
hope so.
I know.
That's
I'm gonna tell you,
Mike coming out.
Well, I don't bring that up to give even Rosenberg his props. I just say it's like, let's be transparent about everything.
No, he is though. He's definitely transparent from some of the stuff I've listened to. He's definitely gave him his props on that aspect of that. So but it's also the pivot. So he pivoted from he know that they wasn't going to give up them seats, so he just started his own. So it's a hip hop way. You don't want to let us in. We can't sample. Okay, cool. We're gonna show you how we're gonna do our thing. So
and I respect that. Like I said, I just think it's so important to have fully transparent conversation.
For sure.
Like I'll never say that I didn't get inspiration to do what I did because of Rosenberg. If I didn't produce Real Late, if I didn't work with Shawnee, if I wasn't around enough to see what Flex, like if I didn't get that full experience, there is no HipHop Mike, period. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many people that are like, I did it. It's me. My name's the brand. My name. And it's like, you see 5-6 people behind them that's really like the Wizard of Oz is a sweaty dude behind the curtain, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if we keep giving people the wizard and not the guy behind the curtain, a lot of people get a false sense of the vulnerability that they got to be okay with to get where they got to go. The hustle that they need to get where they got to go, the willingness to trust people. Like there's so many different personal things that need to develop that I don't think people have forced in their face, and it's just forced their face like, chase the bag, get the money.
But it's crazy. That's what this pod's about. It's actually the person in the behind the curtain we want to highlight those people. So the fact that you said that, that's what this is. We wanted to highlight the people that people do not see, the ones that are sweating in the back, on the phone, doing the calls, doing all this, but driving, Dr. Philin, everything. So,
everybody want to be Bieber, but nobody
wants to.
You'd be very happy if you were Scooter Braun. Maybe start working towards that.
Yeah. And that's
for you.
And that's
for you.
Scooter's definitely fire. He's flying helicopters. So you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, those are the things that's the reason why we wanted to. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to start this pod, is because of showing people that the people from behind the scenes. Because Mike and I are the guys from behind the scenes. Yeah. So when people ever hear, like, yo, I never saw y'all. I'm like, this is the most I've ever seen you guys ever. And I said to myself, like, man, is that a bad thing? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but again, it's the reason why we're doing this, is because we're in a time where 4 years ago, 5 years ago, man, we were
behind the scenes.
Yeah. We didn't need to be, but now you have to kind of be at the forefront, because it's crazy. And this has been a transition for us. It's like, we don't need to show you, right? We're just doing. But in today's day, again, we're pivoting. And now this is what we got to do, because people got to know put a face to the brand. And like what Don is saying, is highlighting the people that are behind. We're team people, right? Like like you said, everybody wants to be the quarterback. Everybody wants to get that bread. Everybody wants to score the touchdown. We want to talk about the O-line.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
We want to speak about all of that.
The O-line is the one that protects the quarterback.
Yes. Everyone's important. That's the thing. Like, and everybody got to be real with themselves. Like, you guys are doing something that, again, is uncomfortable, is nervous, is a little different. Just stepping in front of camera, being on the mic. But and maybe it's not the podcast for the kid that wants to be like Cheeklet. They gotta watch Cheeklet's podcast. Right. But this definitely is a podcast for me. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And I think that's okay. Like I'll be honest, man, I'm living proof of it. Like, with radio, I really loved music, and I loved getting into radio and doing all of that. But at a certain point, I was getting older. I'm a white dude. I'm like, I'm definitely not appreciated by the culture the same way. Yeah, I'm definitely a white dude. Listen, for whatever reason, like, it shouldn't be a color thing, but it's relevant. And like, I understand is like, you want to see people that's thriving, that look like you to some extent. And there was a time that came for me where it was like, I don't know if I want to be funk flexing on 50. I'm not gonna look that good. You know what I'm saying? Flex, black don't crack, bro.
I'm glad he said that. You know what I mean? Black don't crack.
That's the real.
I just keep it a buck. I know how I'm gonna look at 50 on radio is gonna be crazy. The same way that I look at other people that's at that age. That I'm looking at them crazy, and I'm thinking to myself, like, who do I really want to be? And I want to be the guy that owns Emmis. I want to be the guy that's putting the DJs in position, and not the guy that's just in a slot. And, in my 20s, I wanted to be Flex, but as I approached my 30s, I wanted to do more production behind the scenes, and I wanted to be Rick Cummins, who owns the station. And it's okay to work towards being Scooter. It's okay to work towards being Justin, but don't work towards being Justin because he has the bigger amount of followers.
100%.
I'm sure he's doing just as well as Scooter, or Scooter's doing just as well, if not better. You could just get it how you live. And if something's calling you, do the uncomfortable thing and try it. And you guys are going to inspire so many people that's going to come up that's going to be like, damn, I owe that to them the same way I'll say I owe it to Rosenberg.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's essentially what this is, man. We're doing our best to hold fast to our goals, right? So when we started this, which you were at the inception of it, we essentially we had a goal in mind. This was phase 2, right?
This just came to kind of like with you fucking as
natural. If you put yourself in the energy, naturally things are gonna present themselves.
And that's where the goal came. This phase.
Yeah,
we were like, yo, what do we want to house, and how do we want to create? Our office was on 3rd Avenue, and we felt as if that we were in like a principal's office, and we respect the office in 3rd Avenue, but it just wasn't ideal when it came to about being a creative, the type of creative that we are.
Right.
Because it was a creative space, but it was a creative space for other things. Right. So we essentially wanted to have, we created this mindset. We didn't know what we were looking for. And Mike was just like, "Yo, we got to find a place," and we found it.
I was telling him the story that you called me. I felt like he was like, in the closet. Yo, Mike, I think I found our spot.
No, but it was a goal. So and I keep harping on the goal because you said you didn't know what your goals were at the moment, but now essentially you're building out your goals as you go.
Yeah,
it looks like that's happening, right?
I set myself up for it. So like with the real estate, like I said, I learned about myself. Instead of focusing so much on like what am I gonna do to get the next set of clicks, I fell back and like what am I gonna do to get the next fulfillment of happiness? And I'm like, what do I gotta let go of and what do I gotta bring in? And it's like I had to let go of like, ego and insecurity. I had to kind of bring in more like support. I had to surround myself with people that, I felt like wanted to see me win.
Nice.
And I think, any job I've had, I've always felt better when I'm around people. When I work with you guys, I feel great because it's like y'all want to see me win. Whether we work on content or we work on anything. That energy has been very it's been fulfilling and it's showed that I'm able to elevate through that energy.
For sure.
When I get, more content, it's like if I go to the gym and I'm just tired and I lift like little 5-pound weights, I'm not getting no muscles.
Yep.
So it's like you got to push yourself, but instead of pushing myself to do something that everybody else might say, like get more views, that's what you should be doing.
Yep.
I pushed myself to do something that I felt was more true to myself and you got to just be honest with yourself, man. Same way I say I know how I'm going to look when I'm 50. I might look great, but I don't know. My idea of like a radio host is like a young kid that's in tune with what's going on.
Nah, for sure.
My idea of a radio host isn't like a guy at 50 that's like, y'all need to listen to Nas.
Nah, well,
you know
listen,
what I'm saying?
Well, somebody that's not too light on the eyes, or you know what I'm saying? Because you never, that saying, you got a face for radio.
Yeah.
It's different now because you got the video.
Well, listen, it's not just hip hop. Like I'm in the business of radio. I'm a broadcaster, right?
Yeah.
So
Scott Shannon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is if I'm a broadcaster, it's like, all right, well, what happens when I'm bored with hip hop? Where do I go? I'm not into the sports as much. Like it's like my trajectory as far as being a visual media personality. Is like if I'm gonna do that, I feel more called to do it as like a motivational speaker or somebody that's like I was trying too hard to talk to Cheeklet's audience and not enough of my audience.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's where I think we start talking about our goals, bro. Like
100%. He is the segue king. I don't know if
he's great at it. He's a segue.
He's a segue king. So now we have a segment called Goalkeeper, and as a fan of the show, do you know what that means?
The biggest.
So, it's just something for us to kind of keep each other accountable and again on the mindset. So what's a goal that you have maybe that you would want just a weekly goal? I don't need the 5-year goal, but this week, what would be a goal that you'd want to keep?
I mean, this week's tough. I'm thinking like a lot in the future right now. I'm like a couple months out, but man, this week is just like keep pushing myself. Honestly, like I got in the habit of just like leaving a book on the coffee table because like I think when you put things in your field of vision, it's only a matter of time before you pick them up. So like I definitely want to stay on my schedule of like waking up early, hit the gym, do my reading. I'm trying to like swap out bad habits for good habits right now.
Nice.
Just get in a rhythm. I told you guys the end of the year I'm trying to go to San Diego. San Diego. A whale's vagina. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go out there. But we're talking about opening a commercial real estate office. So like right now, my only goal, bro, is to be on that like routine, like the same way I say when I was grinding at Sleepy's. Like it's work at Sleepy's, leave, pick Rosenberg up, drive him where he got to go back to Sleepy's, sleep, wake up, do it again. Like I'm on that time right now with like wake up, go to the gym, go to work, put deals together, leave, go home, wake, and like I think building that rhythm, going into San Diego, having the opportunity to build this office, the 5-year goal is like I need a couple M's in the bank, bro. Like I feel like in 2 years I need to hit like 1 million. And then in 5 years I need to hit like 2-3 million. Nice. And then I want to wait when the interest rates come down. I'm just gonna start buying, bro. I want to buy like Panera Bread, Burger Kings, McDonald's, Yeses, Targets, Walgreens. I'm trying to just buy everything.
Yeah, just know we'll be partners in something of that.
That was the extended version.
I'm trying to buy everything.
Panera Bread.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have new role models now. That like there's people that I look up to in the real estate world that I like the way they approach things, and I think it's something that you know, a lot of people find joy, man, in just doing business.
Yeah.
100%.
It's about, sometimes it's more about the hunt than anything else.
Yeah, like I love business. Like the music industry, I loved it because of the mind games. Not even so much about just the music. Like I have my personal flavor of music, but like it's one thing to love running an ice cream business and another thing to just love chocolate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like I went into the music industry like loving chocolate, trying to manage this whole place.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Where with this is like I love the overall, like I don't care what kind of building it is. Like I just love the idea of like owning something that's net leased to like a big tenant that's gonna pay predictable rent and like that peace of mind and that consistency. Like, I really think that's where you get the most growth is like you slowly lift a little bit more weight, you know? And instead of trying to go from like 5 pounders to 100 pounders at Hot 97, you know, I feel like I've got a little bit of a momentum in this real estate where I want to build something that at 40, 50 years old, like I want to buy the radio station, bro. Like, no cash. I mean,
that's corporate Mike right there.
I want to
corporate Mike talking right now.
But that's a goal. So
no, 100%. That was the extended. That was the remix.
It's not that crazy. Like it sounds crazy, but like
it sounds crazy to people that think
that don't know the business side. But like the station, like right now, is probably worth like 70 million, which like isn't that much money. Like I sold 30 million in real estate last year.
Yeah, so that's,
you know.
Yeah,
like
no
70 million means
flexing.
that you need 20% down for like really good funding. You know what I mean? I think by the time I could afford it, I'm sure radio's not going to be worth as much. Like I'm hoping it comes down to like 40, 50 million.
And he's going to buy it?
And you're going to buy it?
I would buy it.
Out of spite or just because?
Nah, because I feel like the city's diverse and it needs people in position, bro.
That would be so fire.
And I wouldn't even buy it. It'd be the worst investment ever because if I put 40 million back into real estate, I'd probably make a way better return.
Of course. Yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know, man. If I could figure out how to do that at like 50 and just own the frequency and then whoever's around then that makes sense for it, just give it to them the way that I wish somebody would have given it to me when I understood what was happening. You know, I think that's important for the city. So
that's clickbait right there. Former employee buys Hot 97.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He's gonna
crazy.
Don't use the clickbait.
That's
You're
a
gonna
goal.
tip them off.
That's a dope goal. Are we going to tell our goals, or
even if I don't do it, it's just to know I could do it would be great. But like, I hope that I could be in a position where I could do it, and it's not even like a thought to me. You know, like I'm hoping I'm generating like enough money off whatever that like it's not even like I work with guys that they could go spend $1 million no problem. Like, you know, I would love to be there. I would love to be there.
You get there soon.
Nah, but we could do the goal like
I'm just saying because I like his goal. I mean, the aspect of him coming back and buying a building is a dope goal.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't realize too. It's not that tough. Like you could buy. People look at like $1 million properties like it's this like unattainable thing. Like you really just need good finance. Like if you have good credit and like $100,000, you could buy $1 million property
for sure.
That pays you $100,000 a year in rent.
Yeah,
you know, like Elon bought Twitter, but like he didn't have to pay all cash. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like there's ways to play that game and at the end of the day, is like I had this conversation with somebody. I don't want to put them on blast because they feel otherwise. But like I had a conversation with somebody that's like, you can't beat the system. You got to make it work for you. And I don't know. I think a lot of people think you could beat the system, but like the only way the system's ever gonna get beat is if it changes and everybody gets on board. No one person is gonna tip the scale.
Yeah, but it's not going to change. It's not going to change the way certain people want it, right? So the system is made for a certain amount of people. You're a white guy, so it's made for like the system wasn't made for me. You know what I'm saying? So the concept of it is that people like yourself, like allies, you guys are going to be one to be helping us to be able to change the system because you can now get inside of those systems and then change it to what you think it should look like.
I think it's just give it back to people. Like in all honesty, this is my whole thing with the whole black culture. Period. Is, you know, I'm very on the border of all of it, but obviously my skin is white. And I've been around a lot of Jewish people that when I go to Brooklyn, there's an ambulance with the Jewish stuff, there's the police with the Jewish stuff. And when I say nobody could beat the system, it's not going to be one person that beats it. It's going to be one person getting the masses together to raise the money so that black people have ambulance services. So that black people have police departments. That's when white people is going to get nervous when it's organized.
I mean, essentially it's happening now. It's a wave of it happened between brown and black, and it's happening. Is about to change. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, because there's a wave of like this financial literacy coming through, and it sounds so cliche, but it's happening. And when we talked about this last pod, if the brown and black community really starts pooling together, it's gonna be a game changer for the next several years. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm happy that Mike and I are also a part of that aspect, because he's a brown and I'm a black guy, and we're creating a different way of content creating of an agency, management company, media company, and we're able to showcase that it can be done.
Yeah, it needs to happen, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This is right now, if you look at the wide angle, this is like a Gap commercial. Because you have a black guy, a Spanish guy, and a white guy.
That walks in the
so
bar.
We sit there, we walk in the bar, whatever.
No, but it's important. I mean, even just that, like that naturally happened is very telling, because it's like I think everybody at the end of the day just wants to be happy and take care of their family, man.
Yep.
Like, whether you hate America, you hate Afghanistan, you hate everybody everywhere just wants to be have peace of mind.
For sure.
And I think we're very common, bro. It's like one person can't beat the system, but one person could definitely get into the system and create a whole bunch of chaos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think we give too much attention to that guy and not enough to the guy that's like, I'm not important, we're important.
I think that's where Mike and I come into. We're the we guys.
Yeah, I think that's a New York mentality, to be honest with you, because it's such a melting pot. I think, when you speak to people that are outside of New York, even whether it's, certain terms, I won't say, certain, shout out Chaz, certain things that we just know, like what you're saying, this right here, no jokes aside, you have white, Puerto Rican, and a black. Right? I know it sounds like a joke.
Walk in a bar.
But this is New York, and this is hip hop, right? We said this on an interview on a pod a minute ago. Like, hip hop don't have a color. You could say, yes, it was started by blacks and Puerto Ricans, but the culture does not have a color because it's taken over the world, right? And I think from New Yorkers, we understand that, because you walk down the block, like you said, you could be in Brooklyn and you sit there and you see Jewish ambulance, and then you go down the next block, and then you're in Biggie's neighborhood, what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you're in a Puerto Rican neighborhood, or there's so many different things.
But when you said the culture of hip hop, if you go to France, like the culture of hip hop is completely a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's wild out there. Like it's and you think. Like the gang culture is crazy. Like the culture of hip hop, they think that's what it is. And you go out there, you see 1,000 blue flags, and you're like, "Am I in L.A.?"
Well, they don't have AARP moderating.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It was our business is so inserted into how to take.
100%.
Like, I'd be honest, I don't know if y'all thought of it, but there's it's not called the group, it's this group, which like gives the inclination. There's other groups out there.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes,
it's not. Y'all don't make it just about you. You know, it's like, but y'all could get down with this group who has this variety of people.
Correct.
And I'd say it's the same. It should be this culture.
Yes.
Everywhere, the culture is this one thing that is like, we're just going to take from it. Like, nah, this culture is just as relevant to this group as that culture is relevant to that group.
Yeah.
And
Prepositional phrase Mike.
Come together.
Prepositional phrase Mike. That's it. That's what we're gonna do.
Yo,
but what do you want to do? You want to do your goal? Or
I think his goal is
for him.
Yeah, for him. And
so now, because he's not gonna be here next week.
So
what's your goal?
So my goal for this week,
not to buy the building.
Not to buy the building. My goal for this week.
Let me broker it if you do.
Listen, you're going to.
You buy the building.
It's a purchase a car this week.
Huh? Oh, purchase a car this week.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to purchase a car this week.
That's a great goal.
Yeah, I have to purchase a car. It's very stressful sometimes, but yeah, I'm looking for a car to purchase.
All right.
That's cool.
I think for me is making sure that we have 2 successful events this weekend.
Yes.
Oh. You're going to be at one, I'm going to be at the other. I don't want to, time frame or whatever. I don't want to put it there. But doing what we do, representing our company the way we need to do at both of these situations.
Yeah, I mean, but just so they know, man, your man's gonna be at the Revolt World.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
God, but this dude with the time frames, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say anything.
What I do?
Right, exactly.
My bad.
It's all right, B. It's all right.
Oh, so we're done. Up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have
my bad. My bad.
It's all right. But anyway,
it's only the 3rd episode.
Yeah. We flow.
Thank you, Mike, for giving me grace. Appreciate you.
But last segment of the show. This is the first time we have a guest.
Yep.
This is baseball reference.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm telling you. It's called pitch clock. New rules in baseball. You have 20 seconds to pitch. We giving you an opportunity look in the camera.
Yeah.
And just 20 seconds to say, pitch anything that you want, anything.
Oh my God. I got $35 Dollar Generals for sale throughout the country. If anybody's looking to buy Dollar Generals, we can make a package deal for a 7-cap. Holla at your boy. Also, if you have deals in Pennsylvania, 2 million or less, call me. I'm buying. But nah, in all seriousness, I just pitched the gram, man. Hit me at HipHop Mike. Any questions you have about music, about real estate, about life, I'm your guy, man. Holla at me anytime. And I don't charge a lot of money unless you need a lot of help. You know what I'm saying?
I love
so
that.
if you just need a little help,
I love that.
I'll do it for free. But if you need a lot of help, I need a lot of money.
There you go.
Yo, Mike, man. Just real quick, man. Yo, you real good at this, like these segments, bro.
You segue, I segment.
Yo, this is.
You guys are great.
Yo,
Together, it's a quality show, man.
Yeah, I like this guy, man.
Appreciate
yo,
that.
this is you my bro, man.
Yeah, we out here. We out here. Well, thank you. This is episode 3. Our first guest, Mike. Seriously, thank you so much, bro.
Man, thank you guys.
Yo, man.
Can I do this?
I love it. Yeah.
Nah, but this is dope. For us, please subscribe. Everything for us is at This Group Media. That's for the YouTube.
Yes.
The IG, we're not even gonna do our personals anymore.
Yeah,
right? We're just at This Group Inc.
Yeah.
For everything else. You need us, holla at us. We'll speak to y'all. Thank y'all for watching.
Peace.